Not every plant in our garden survived the winter. We're going to show you which ones didn't make it.
But first, we are going to open up our fountains and add a cascading hydrangea and some pansies to our potager.
We currently have 2 fountains in our garden here in upstate New York, Zone 6A. The first one is right behind me in our hydrangea room. This is the Borghese Fountain, and we installed this one earlier in the season, but it was still cold. We were getting some freezes at night, so we drained the water after we made sure it worked and covered it up with a little bit of a plastic garbage bag to protect it from water collecting inside. So really, this is going to be an easy setup. We just have to take the plastic garbage bag off, put the little pieces together, and boom, we're good to go. So come on in here, Christopher.
Nice to start easy.
I know. We have some beautiful little tete-a-tetes blooming underneath. We've got some heaven-sent Jacob's Ladder foliage popping up behind it, which is one of my favorite moments in the life cycle of this perennial. Check out that gorgeous, like purpley, green, and blue foliage.
Love that. And then it'll have the grape fragrance on those little flowers sooner than later.
Yes. So honestly, this is not going to be that exciting. I'm just going to take the garbage bag off of it.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! And we can reuse this. And then look in here, Christopher. We have the pump, which is coming up through the middle. We have our little connectors, and we went through all of this in the setting up video. And then all I've got to do is line these things up, connect them together, and boom, the Borghese Fountain. I want to turn that so the seam is at the back. The Borghese Fountain should be good to go. So once we get it filled with water,
we'll see.
We'll play with that once there's water in there. We'll plug it in, show you how it works. Well, we want to unveil our larger fountain, which is the Catarina Fountain. Come with me underneath our arch. Generous Gardener's looking gorgeous. We come around to the terrace area, and what looks like a spaceship mushroom is actually a gorgeous fountain that we love and adore because it brings water and gorgeous sound to this area where we love to come out and relax.
Are you ready for me to unveil?
I am. This one is not a garbage bag. This is actually a tarp.
No, this is called the, it's like a fountain cover product that I found on Amazon. Where or what it's called, I couldn't tell you exactly, but it is designed for this purpose.
And we have some catmint underneath.
Is it trying to grow again?
Yeah, there's one that always gets trapped under there, and then it turns into this white, what is that disease on that show on HBO that like eats the brains of the people?
Oh, cordyceps.
And then it looks like cordyceps on one of those creatures.
Gross, gross, gross.
So we've got the pieces put in now. We had a hasty fall. We did not clean this out very well before the fall. So we're going to take some time and we're going to bring these over to our new hose reels that we got, which is really exciting.
Yeah, we'll go get those cooking.
We're going to get a bucket, some soda. We're going to do a little, or soda. Like soap.
And clean this fountain.
We just got brand new this hose reel. They finally make a 100-foot version.
So we now can use Hoselink in this lovely charcoal casing, which is fantastic because it blends in so much better.
And we just installed it today. It fit on the system we already had set up, but one of the reasons we never had a Hoselink before is because they never came long enough. We have, a half-acre lot, and so we needed something that could reach pretty far. And their previous longest reel was 80-something feet, and now it's 100 feet, so it's the perfect length for us. So we were so lucky to get our hands on 2 of them. 3 of them, because we have a third spout going into the back this season. So this is a situation where we chose not to set ourselves up for success last fall because we were exhausted. So now we're paying the price. We just got to get in here, give them a little scrub-a-dub-dub and a rinse, and then we'll start putting it together. So I don't know, Christopher, you want to film or help?
Oh, I want to film.
Oh, okay.
This is not the kind of work that really is for 2 people.
You
it
feel
really
like
is best.
This doesn't fulfill you, this type of work?
No, not in the slightest, actually.
So people always ask, like, how do you keep your water clear? How do you keep algae out of your fountain? Our fountain is in full sun. So one of the ways we keep it clear is we're constantly replenishing the water because the Catarina Fountain is a big splasher. The other thing is we use a tiny drop of an algicide. There's no fish or anything in here, so we don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, it's just like one little drop that keeps the algae down.
Yeah.
No big deal.
And then a good clean a couple of times a season. preferably before we put it away for the winter. One of the reasons we cover our fountain during the winter is to protect it from the freeze and thaw. We have wet, heavy snows. We get a lot of wind. It's in sun and then it's cold. So with cast stone or concrete like this, the best thing you can do is just stop it from getting wet all winter so it doesn't have that constant freeze thaw. So that's why we cover it.
It's way too heavy to bring inside, that's for sure. I think altogether this fountain is somewhere around 800 pounds.
Sure is.
I believe.
This piece, I think, is as clean as I need it to be.
Yeah, I think that's good to go.
This is the little finial on top. So cute. I think part of me was wishful thinking last winter that the freezing would kill the algae. Maybe that doesn't happen. That's just sheer ignorance.
I thought you were going to say that you hoped the fountain cleaning fairy was going to come in the winter and tidy it up.
So far, I'm happy with the water pressure on the hose.
Yeah, I think the water pressure is going to be good. I know in order to have a 100-foot hose, the water pressure will be a little bit less than with a shorter hose.
Yeah, because I have to use a thinner hose diameter to get it into the, what is that called?
The casing?
Casing, that's
the
what they
box
call it.
thing?
Yeah.
That thing.
Look at this pile of goodies. Some little critter hoarded for themselves, and now we've exposed them.
Oh, that's funny. That's a whole, yeah, they had a little party over the winter.
Yeah. Underplanted with Walker's Low Catmint, which is a great catmint for us. We like it because it's so big and full and really resilient. It also can flush for us 3 times if we keep cutting it back, so that's a bonus.
Last year, we attempted to time how long it would take to rebloom in between cutbacks. And it was almost 5 weeks to the day that it was back in full glorious bloom after being cut to the ground. The basin of the fountain is particularly heavy, but we have to get the power cord down through the hole, out the very bottom, and then this little wedgy, rubbery wedge
Plug thing.
gets stuffed in there.
Yeah.
And then we just put it back together. So here we go.
Yeah,
that doesn't go down too far, remember, the wedge.
Yep.
Let's just push this down for now.
Yeah. So the bowl is not connected to the pedestal, so this is the tricky part. We balance the bowl and the pedestal. This is definitely a 2-person job. We get this down as far as possible. I will tilt forward. Christopher's going to reach under
And get it real quick before he smushes my hand. Ready?
I think so.
It's going to be a lot easier than you think.
Always is.
Always is. I'll give a little scoop too.
You give a push to the basin will help me more. Or sorry, not the basin, the pedestal. There we go.
Okay. Through.
Keep pulling. And keep pulling. Okay, stop.
Stop.
Yep.
And down.
Now,
Gross.
I know, we are off a little bit. Oh, there's a
shim in there already.
There's a shim. Okay.
Maybe we'll there's a couple shims. Let's
unshim.
Shim, meaning little plastic triangle-y discs that you wedge in there to make it leveler.
Yeah, no matter how hard you try, it's just not, concrete's not perfectly level. So. Yeah, see, I knew it was coming down in the front. So let's do a level at the base under the pedestal. Keep tilting. And drop it. And a little more. Do it again. And drop it. Perfect.
Perfect.
Check that side.
Now it's not good here.
All right.
Hold on. But
Perfect.
It's good there. And it's not so it's...
So we need some under this corner now.
Yep, so one over there.
And one more time. And stop. Now let's try that again.
Perfect. We'll call this the riser, the main riser. How's that?
Yeah, and it has the hole in the back. which I'm gonna make sure. Oh, you know what we forgot to do?
Double check the wedge.
Yeah, we forgot to seal the wedge in here. So this, you could add putty and stuff if you wanted to.
We didn't need it last year. I think it was fine.
It was fine. I wonder if as this ages though, we'll probably need to start puttying it as this rubber starts to deteriorate a bit. So we'll find out.
Do a new wedge.
As time goes on. I mean, if we really were like super thorough and like really a how-to video, we'd probably fill it with water and leave it and see if it drained, but that's not us, so.
No way, not happening.
So we're not pretending that it is, because this is real life. So that goes over there. This comes out the top here. This we're gonna center and make sure that the casing is towards facing the back, so that as you come around the front, you don't really see.
You don't see the little door.
Yeah. So this will make sure that's long enough. So we can see that we probably need a little shim in here. I put the shim on the wrong side like a true professional.
These clear shims you really can't see once the water's in there.
This little squirrel's gonna come back and be like, hey,
My house.
where's
it's
my
missing.
nuts?
Next up is the second bowl.
Ugh. Got a little grass stuck in there.
Whoops.
So this has to line up with this part here. Goes right in there. And in theory, you like tighten it around and you do all that stuff. Let me just spin this a bit and see if that fixes it. That's actually very good.
Okay.
Now this doesn't mean that when we turn it on, the water is gonna be perfect.
There's often shimming that needs to be
Yeah.
done.
Because we've done that before too.
You get it all perfect, you think it's ready to go, but it's not.
So there's only 2 more pieces left. The case cover, which slides in right here. And then this goes right here. And this seam definitely goes towards the back.
There we go.
There we go. Now this, I'm not gonna test the level on. But I think I'm gonna fill it with water and then we can plug it in and see if it works. What do you think?
I think that's correct. Well, we've got the thing running, but it is definitely not
I know,
shimmed.
despite our best efforts. So I've got a decision to make. Do I wanna shim here?
You need to shim under the second bowl because the second bowl looks totally crooked.
I wonder why.
The second bowl is definitely not
All right,
centered.
this is not centered?
Yeah, that's like close to
Not
you.
centered on what?
On the middle pedestal.
Oh. Oh yeah, that's gonna help a lot. So basically what I'm gonna do is go where the most strips are
And put the shim
and put
in.
shims in.
May I?
Give it a go. I'm not having any luck. Despite our best efforts, it's getting worse.
Okay. It's all going to that side. Okay. Now,
Yeah, it looks good from the front-ish. Looks pretty good from the front.
there's really not much coming towards me, so all I'm going to
Yeah.
do...
Oh yeah, then from this angle, not so hot. That's looking better too.
Was
Now
that
let me
it?
Go from the front. I don't know yet. I gotta
From the
look
front,
all
it's
angles.
perfectly even.
Just scooch one step one direction and then we can see. That looks really good. Maybe this is your calling, fountain leveler.
I feel like there's...
I think it might be your calling.
I got it. And
I think
guess
I would have
what?
just spent 4 hours there.
Only one shim.
One shim.
That's
there you
one
go, folks. Don't trust me, trust Christopher. All right, now let's fill the Borghese and get that going.
Let me get this hose reel turned on.
Look at this oak leaf hydrangea is getting so big.
I was worried when they installed the new smart meter for the electrical company that they were going to smash it.
I'm going to stand here and be a human-sized hose reel.
Oh,
you can
Eric,
just
we
pull it
have
right
those
against
hose
me.
reel things in the garage we have to install.
Yep. Keep pulling. This is why we need 100-foot hoses. I'm also helping him with my hand here. We're almost there. How much more?
Keep going.
I think you're good.
All right, here we
I
go.
definitely think you can reach the fountain.
I'll fill the fountain while you walk.
This fountain, I know for a fact, holds 2.5 gallons. Because I remember in our setup video, I was like, this fountain holds 5 gallons. But it definitely doesn't. It's not, so it's rated to not splash as much as the Catarina. It has a very low splash.
Yep.
As opposed to Catarina, which has a high splash. And all that stuff around it's going to cover up that base. That is Magic Show Ever After Veronica and Peachberry Ice Heuchera.
Which I really want some more of, so it makes a huge block of it right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we just added a lot last fall too.
Well,
So now he's going to go over there and plug it in. Work the
And-
magic. That worked. And so that's the trickle for the Borghese fountain. Oh, but yeah, look at the high wind is blowing it out. So it's going to be one of those things we have to monitor. That's pretty. So then what I picture is sitting over here on the bench in the hydrangea room, enjoying the hydrangeas, listening to the beautiful sounds of the Borghese fountain as we watch Christopher work.
it's a nice trickle. Like, let me get some ASMR in here. Right? I think that's a nice trickle. Do you want me to see if I can make it stronger, or do you like the nice trickle?
You can try, play with it. Take it out of the water, if you can.
That's
Oh.
stronger.
That is much stronger. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, now rotate it so the seam's in the back. I do like that trickle better. That is sweet. I love it.
That's better. I like it.
I love it. Christopher, let's see how this retraction goes on this hose.
All right, let me go up here.
We always have to watch out for the oak leaf. That's a Gatsby pink.
Okay, let's see.
Sometimes I find it helps if you run the water out while it is retracting. Oops, I dropped it. All right, it worked. It worked.
It worked. We have gotten the fountain on, so I double checked that my little setup is working. What I've been using is a waterproof extension cord that plugs into this junction box that shares with the terrace lights. So this is all going to be put into a waterproof box that's on the ground. It's black, you won't be able to see it. And I plugged into it this Kasa double switch wireless timer plug situation. So that's the one that we're going to use for some lights, but this is going to be the one for the fountains. I use it on the Kasa app, and you can see here that the fountain Catarina just turned off and it just turned back on. So that's going to work really well. And then the other plug on here is going to be for the Borghese fountain. The fountains look really good. I'm glad that they're turned on now and that the wireless action is going to be working. Nice trickle on this one, walk through the arch, and then we get more than a trickle. And I did order a waterproof box that's coming tomorrow, so all that cords and stuff can get put away, and then we'll tack down and bury this extension cord so we can now start planting.
Yes, so we're heading right over here into the potager.
Eric is mocking up our planting scheme for the Pascal urns, the small Pascal urn.
The centerpiece for our Pascal urn is going to be these Fairy Trail Green Cascade Hydrangeas. They might not look like much now, but that's because we overwintered them in our garage successfully. So come on in close, Christopher, and you can see there's so much new growth happening. And this is a big leaf type hydrangea that blooms on old wood. So all of the flowers that are coming out now were formed last year, and that's why we really wanted to protect them. The other thing to remember about this new variety of Cascade Hydrangeas is they are one of the earliest to bloom. So it's very important that the buds are protected from late frost. So we're going to keep our eye on the weather. We think last night was our final frost in our area. We don't see another one in the near forecast at all. But if we do, we're going to have to cover this because these buds are way too tender to leave exposed. We're going to plant the centerpiece first and then see how many of these pansies can fit around it. Right now I have 8 placed, alternating the purple and the pink because that's our theme of annuals this year. But once we have this hydrangea in there, who knows how many is going to be able to fit. But because it's spring, we can just pack them in real tight. Christopher?
Oh, I was going to say, don't worry about that drip line for now. Just keep that kind of tucked to the side. I'm not going to get it hooked up on drip yet. Since it's still spring, we don't have to do any of that just yet.
Nope. Oh, I hate when I make a mistake like that and it gets all messy. But let's look at the roots on this thing, because I think I'm going to use this container to get the extra dirt out.
Oh, I see some good roots there.
Looks happy.
Not root bound at all.
No, but healthy.
He does not like making mess.
I don't like making a mess. I'm a very tidy gardener, unless I don't have to be. All right, which side is the front? I feel like that's the front because we're going to be seeing it from there.
That looks great right there.
Okay. And we might leave these in all season, we might not.
Right, these might pop out and go into another container, but for now, we'll set them in.
Because once they bloom, they don't really bloom again. So
Right.
I don't know what we'll do with it. I think that's is that too low?
It might be a touch too
I
low.
think it's a little low. It kind of smells like fish because Christopher watered these with Neptune fertilizer
Yeah,
earlier in the
I
week
used some seaweed fertilizer to boost them a little bit.
to give them a little boost for you guys so that when we planted them, they'd be greener.
These actually were not even close to this green about 3 days ago. We've been setting them outside to kind of get used to being in the sun, and they took off.
Is that centered?
Let's see. That looks pretty centered to me.
I'm going to go around and alternate pink and purple.
I think this is going to look really nice. I have a feeling this will also really take off. We have some official spring temperatures coming. I believe the weatherman set an 8 to 14 day above average trend for upstate New York and
Wow.
kind of the whole Northeast.
Well, I hope these pansies enjoy it because we don't keep pansies in the garden for too long.
No, they are not really a perennial for us.
Nope. And we tried growing them from seed in the basement, but that was a flop.
That was a whole flop. They did not really do much of anything.
What do you need next? Pink?
Pink.
Look at how I actually think they look beautiful.
I really love these. I think they're going to be fantastic as they fill in. They're fantastic now.
The Cascade Hydrangea is the perfect scale for this urn, and so are the pansies, and there are so many buds in there. So they're going to bloom like a limey green, a chartreusey green, and that'll fade to white. And they're a one-time bloomer, so we're going to take full advantage of them as they are all budded up for the season. But also, Christopher, when I was grabbing the pansies, I saw some really inexpensive lettuce. And I thought, why not? Let's add a little green in here.
What kind is it?
Oh, I don't even know. Butter Crunch, it says.
Did it say Butter Crunch?
It says Butter Crunch. So there's 4, 4, 4. So that's 12. We can do 6 in each one.
Yeah, do you want to do a little circle so it looks cute with the Jardin bird cages?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Yeah, fit it right into the arch segments.
And then, yeah, we're going to have to get the drip set up on this on these soon as we're planting them up. That is coming up. That's Christopher's specialty.
I don't know if specialty is the right word. Ability to do and specialty, I'm not sure.
He's really good at tolerating that task.
Yeah, I think that would be the way to put it.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to do like in front of each little spike.
That's a good idea.
And then if you want to start watering in, Christopher, we can do that. And then we can show everybody what died. Everything's all watered in, and we rolled up the hose, and I figured since it brought us here, this is the best place to start. You can see right down here our Sarcocoa. This is a sweet and low that we planted in 2023, so it has wintered over well for us before. It's an extremely early blooming evergreen that has highly fragrant white flowers, and you can see it budded all up. So, you know, when it bit the dust pretty late in the season. And I remember coming out here and showing people on Instagram that it was all budded up. But wondering, I was curious about the color, so I did the scratch test on it where you scratch the bark and there was green underneath. And I thought, wow, that is alive, even though it looks dead. But obviously it was well on the way. So the Sarcocoa didn't make it. I still reached out to Proven Winner, sent them a picture and said, hey, this isn't supposed to be like this, right? And they said, nope, your Sarcocoa is dead. So we believe it is the victim of the extreme west wind all winter long. And we had a lot of that happening. So as we go through the garden and show you the things that didn't make it, I really think that's the main reason why, because our temperatures didn't go much lower than they normally do, but our wind was excessive this past winter, and wind is a killer.
The Malvern Hills Rambling Rose had started its life crawling up the pergola for us, but unfortunately it has completely died back to the ground. There are some new growth spots down here, but every other piece of the cane died. This is also fully exposed, so I have a very good feeling that this was also wind related. It doesn't mean we're going to give up on it just yet. I'm going to give it the one more season just to see if it gets stronger, since it'll be in the ground so long and the roots will be stronger and spread out
the roots
more.
are going to be strong. I think it's going to send up a ton of growth.
I think it will, and it'll be strong and there'll be lots of flowers on it, but I do have to get out here and cut it all the way to the ground.
Yeah. All throughout our garden, you can see these boxwoods with these lovely bright yellow flowers on them. But no, alas, they are not flowers. Those are the tips of our sprinter boxwoods that have been wind burned. And that's what it looks like. That's just damage from the wind this winter. And what we're gonna do is, because the shrub is still alive, I mean, look at how happy and healthy that is down there, is we're just gonna prune it all off and shape them, which we would do anyway because it encourages branching and new growth. But that's gonna absolutely fix that problem. But this right here, wind burn.
I'm just checking down here. We overwintered quite a few perennials that are now outside, and we did a pretty good job of watering, but what I discovered is that the top two shelves, I was watering them and all that water was dripping straight through the soil and watering the stuff below. So stuff that was on the bottom, like the Cascade Hydrangeas, did fantastic. Stuff on top, not so much. I have discovered some new growth alive in the Prairie Wind's Blue Paradise grass, and I also am holding out hope that the Apache rose grass is also okay. But I'm seeing some growth in string theory Amsonia. I'm not seeing anything, unfortunately, in these big giant salvias.
Those were hard to keep watered though, because they were so root bound.
They were so enormous, and this one is new this year, and it is called
Big Sky.
Big Sky. It's gorgeous, but it was so hard to keep these watered. I think it's one of those plants where you feel the roots, you know they're pretty root bound.
Oh, can you show them? Is it easy to get it out now that it's dead?
Might.
Yeah, see, it was so...
It doesn't look so bad, but it's just a block. And you can feel on the sides of the pot that it really wasn't that happy. And unfortunately, some salvias, these were on the top shelf. Not so good. Wait a second. Oh, that's a string theory. Haha, that one we know is alive. And some phlox, kind of alive, maybe. We're gonna let them sit out for a little bit. If they wake up, they wake up. Obviously that one hosta made it, but not all the perennials that we overwintered did so well.
Let's take a look at these sad little sticks. These are Seaside Serenade Glacier Bay Hydrangeas. They're a big leaf variety that happens to be a lace cap. Black stems, true black, not dead black, with bright white lace cap flowers on top. But look, Christopher, these have last year's buds all up and down the stem. And these buds, this is what it looks like when they haven't made it. They have all dried out, they are desiccated, so there will be no blooms on any of these branches.
Is there any growth at the base on these?
There is growth on the base of this one. There is growth at the base on this one. And there is also on this one.
Okay.
So they'll rebloom from the base. This did not make it through the winter. We will see no flowers on them this year. So unless the foliage and stems are absolutely gorgeous, we will probably replace them with a hardier hydrangea or protect them next fall.
User error, 100% gardener error. See that little mugo pine right there? See if you can get up close to it, Eric. Isn't that a beautiful specimen that forgot to get watered?
We transplanted this last spring, watered it in, and then quickly forgot about it. So I don't know if we can necessarily blame winter, but it's dead.
It's certainly dead.
Now this looks dead, but it's actually not. This is just rabbit damage. We had intense snow, clearly up to about here this past winter, and it froze solid. It elevated the rabbits up so they could really get a nibble on this Tromnar spruce. There's a lot of new growth happening down there, so it looks dead, but it's not. Come on up here to see something that is really dead. This is our last big dead one. We figured we'd finish where we started. These are our green screen arborvitaes, which are a sport of green giant arborvitaes. So in theory, they really should be hardy to our zone. And it's a new introduction that we were really excited to plant in our garden. And I noticed them kind of bronzing up over the last few weeks. So again, I think it was a very late winter death for them. There is a little bit of green on the inside, but I reached out to Isley, shared videos, spoke with them, and they confirmed that indeed they are dead. And they were interested in hearing that because they really appreciate getting the feedback. So although they are rated to be hardy down to zone 5, they might have to reconsider that rating and take into consideration really harsh winter wind, because just because something's rated to a certain zone doesn't mean it's rated to your garden. And you live and you learn, and it gives you opportunities to try something new and have fun in your garden.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today as we got our fountains uncovered, did some planting, and showed you all the stuff that did not make it through the winter.
So please make sure you click like and subscribe and join us for the entire gardening season. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And for Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.